So I will call the meeting to order. We have a resolution number 284-25, be it resolved that the meeting be convened at 17:25 with Mayor Ray Muirhead in the chair. Moved by
Mike.
Mike, seconded by Sam. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. You're in favor, Bill?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We'll have a roll call. Muirhead present, Kellanoch present, Ray present, Sudak present, Van Dam present. Use Councillor Boganis. I'm assuming he'll be coming along, so keep that open. Adoption of agenda. We have resolution number 285-25. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of November 10th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Moved by
Bill,
Debbie, seconded by Bill. Any additions, deletions? There were some late additions, but you got them to us, so. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have the adoption of the minutes. We have resolution number 286-25. Be it resolved the minutes for the regular meeting of October 14th, 2025, special meeting of October 28th, 2025, and the joint committee meeting of October 27th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. All those, moved by
Sam.
Sam, seconded by Debbie. Any errors, omissions, hearing none? None? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Wait a couple minutes for the planning thing. I should say too, you're recording. At the beginning, this is all being recorded for our website and for YouTube, just to let everybody know. We kind of got away from that once, and I'm getting back into it just to let people know, so that's what we're doing. Is it,
Do you want to pass the time with some finance?
Yeah.
Sure.
let's do it. So we'll move to finance accounts just briefly. We have financial administrator report. We have a resolution number 290-25. Be it resolved that council accept the finance report as presented. Moved by
Mike.
seconded by
Bill,
Sam. Any questions? Everybody read the financial?
Yeah, I just have
narrative?
one question, please. Don't mind.
Sure.
On the statements with the MasterCard, is that included in this?
Yes.
Okay. There was a purchase from Amazon. What would that have been? Do you have any idea? $1,141 and some cents. I was just wondering what we're ordering over Amazon. Do you have any idea?
Not offhand, no. Was there any kind of description?
No,
Okay.
there wasn't. So it doesn't matter. You can let me know later.
Yeah, I'll look it up and
Okay.
let you know.
Thank you. That's all I have.
I wanted to ask a question. I guess this would be more of the financial statement. I'll wait. Any more on the finance officer's report? Okay, all those in favor? Bill, you're in favor?
yes, I am.
Okay. Opposed, that is carried. We can quickly do the financial statements. We have a resolution number 291-25. Be it resolved, the financial statement for October 2025 be received by council. Moved by
Bill,
Debbie, seconded by Bill. Any
Yes.
questions?
no, I went over the checks. Everything appeared to be in order.
I had a couple of questions. Does anybody else have anything first? You're good. On that, and I will use Erica Kolbacki and several others. That's just a rebate of overpaid taxes, I'm assuming?
There were checks to them?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
I thought so, but I just thought I'd ask.
yes.
And also the White House rent, 4,260 before we did this statement. How does that, who paid, does the region pay that? Or who pays that?
That is, what do you mean by the region?
Well, when agency nurses rent, they
I
pay
think
it?
it's the actual agency.
Okay, I wasn't
Mhm.
sure if they went through the hospital and the hospital reimbursed or how that
I
worked.
believe it's the agency.
Okay,
Should be the agency.
Mhm.
so that's gonna come up later in discussion. I just wanted to know how we're going about doing that, so.
Sure.
And that's what we made, 4260 up to date, okay.
Yeah.
Good, that's all I had. Anybody else have anything? Okay,
Nope.
all those in favor of the financial statements? Bill?
Yes, carried.
Okay, opposed, that is carried. think we're close enough to our additional use. So what we have planning, we have a conditional use. We have a resolution here. Resolution number 287-25, be it resolved that council adjourn the regular meeting in order to conduct a public hearing regarding the conditional use CU 18-25-C. Moved by
Sam.
Mike,
seconded by Mike. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have Bev Walker with us today.
Yeah.
You're on, Bev.
All right, we had an application to establish a secondary suite within the RG residential general zone. Brad Graham, as most of you know, has just moved a house in on Ottawa Street.
Yeah.
And he would like to, his intention is to have it as a rental unit, both up and down. But in order to have it up and down, he has had to apply for the conditional use for the secondary suite and basement.
Straightforward.
Yeah.
Everything will be in compliance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the building permit and
Egress,
everything's,
access,
yes,
and the whole bit.
Yeah.
Okay. How long do we have to wait for somebody to show up for public, or it's just straightforward?
Yeah, it's been a minute past. It was the time it was scheduled, so you.
Okay. Nobody has any concerns, questions? Bill, you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that. It looks like it is going to pass any regulations. So
Mhm.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Well, seeing nobody in public, I'll read this resolution 288-25. Be it resolved that council adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the regular meeting of council. Moved by,
Mike,
Bill,
seconded by Bill. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. And then we'll just go to the next one here. We have resolution 289-25, be it resolved that council approves a conditional use order number CU 18-25-C to establish a secondary suite within the RG residential general zone. Moved by
Sam.
Bill,
Sam, seconded by Debbie. You were gonna. Any final discussion? Straightforward. Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Done.
anything else for Bonnie? Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Unless you got anything for us?
Yeah, not for that.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
No problem.
So we will move to the next delegation, which is James Cracknell.
Oh,
Come on up if you want. Welcome.
thanks. The first one's
Yeah.
bossing around the lake too.
So it's just housekeeping. I think you know everybody around. Sam Van Dam, myself,
Yeah.
Mike, Debbie, Teresa, John, Bill's on the other end here.
Sounds good.
And usually we allow 15 minutes for presentation, which is,
Sure.
okay.
That won't take that long.
Floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I wanted to just come to the meeting. I believe you guys had a talk previously about a few of the parking spots opposite, say, the car wash next to the park, just to the north of here.
Yep.
I had, when I bought the property from Jay Riley, you know, a little bit of history to the area, but then also to obviously I bought the property in a location where it's a busy intersection, and I understood that, and I tried to make it as efficient as possible for the public passing through, but also my customers and that kind of thing. So correct me if I'm wrong, there used to be parking that was on the angle in that area, and then the same too by Myers Meats on the other side.
Yeah.
It got since changed to parallel parking, probably for congestion, I imagine.
Yeah, safety.
I had a few customers that called me over a certain period of time saying, you know, parking's quite tough, especially when it's lineup for the car wash. And, you know, I quite often go through that intersection, I go through it multiple times per day just to kind of see.
Yep.
I mentioned something to Brady over, you know, almost probably a year and a half ago about it. And I offered, you know, is there an opportunity where I can rent it? And that came up in discussion. He kind of had a thought about it, and, you know, that was kind of like a hard no. which I understood. So, he mentioned to me that perhaps there used to be a 15-minute parking there. I don't know if that's correct or not.
I can tell you no.
It was never,
No.
I can't ever remember being it.
That wasn't.
So I was just trying to think of ways to make it, because there's also a lot of snow that gets collected in that area as well. And it's right next to a park. So my thoughts is currently, and again, I don't want to step on anyone's toes or it's nothing personal, but quite often it's, I believe, town employees that are parked in that area.
Mhm.
And you know, my thoughts are, one, it's next to a park, so not even anything to do with my business. But then two, it is a, you know, congested area. I was wondering if there's anywhere else that can be parked. So I got told to come to this meeting because of that question. But my thoughts are, let's say, for example, maybe using any kind of my business, but if someone came to the antique store and say, came out and they asked someone on the street, you know, where is a good place to get a sit-down meal? And they say, oh, it's Callahan's just down there.
Yeah.
Well, if Westover were parking or Callahan's employees were parking along Main Street, you know, someone might drive by and say, oh, it's parking's a nightmare. Let's just get food when we get back to Brandon. Or, you know, someone wanted to go to the park, there's nowhere really for the park. 'Cause my main thing is just, you know, is there anywhere else to park? I'm not like looking for my customers to park there. It's just, I think that there's a better use of the space, whether it's parking. I thought about previously behind the building, but apparently that's not possible.
No, not here, no.
No. A little bit, one half a block to the east, there's the other side of the lane, there's area there that could be used for parking. I don't know who owns the land behind Westover where Dave Myers staff park is there.
We own that, yeah.
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 And I think that the field parking lot is owned by this CVM.
No, the town owns that as well.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I was told CVM, but I thought that was weird that the town would clean the CVM parking lot. So,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that Main Street's congested enough as it is. So the people then look for the next easiest street, which is next to Myers and next to the car wash.
Yeah.
You know, that obviously that area was open for people quite easily to park. Since then, I put a vacuum in and I've tried to make it, you know, a little bit less congested.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say where people should park. I'm just saying that that's next to a park and it's the next easiest street for someone to spend money in our community by parking there and then walking down the street.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I'll go around the table here shortly, just to give a bit of history behind this. Several years ago, and not that terribly many years ago, there used to be a lot of parking available on Main Street because Main Street was, for lack of a better way of putting it, dead.
Yeah.
There was nothing here.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, Main Street's pretty much full.
Yeah.
So we went from an empty parking area to a full parking area.
Mhm.
I know myself, when I come down and I want to go to Myers, we'll say, I drive around and around looking for a parking spot. It's the luck of the draw kind of thing.
Yeah.
We used to have diagonal parking, yes, beside Myers for here, and Debbie will know that we had it on Main Street.
Mhm.
And when we reduced that, we lost a lot of spare parking spots. We try to deter people parking in front of their business on Main Street. We've had issues with that before. Park on a side street and let the customers park in front of the business if they have to, Callahan's, hair shops, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's worked. Now we're faced with what you're saying, is people are parking on side streets. We did give it some consideration, not gonna lie. We talked about, what you're talking about now. And then we didn't touch on it too long because we had a long meeting that day. So we came back to it at a later meeting. I can't remember if it was a special meeting or our next council meeting. We talked at great length about it. There's no easy answers for it. When you talk about public parking, you gotta be very careful with that. If we designate parking, and I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought you were requesting to have those two spots where they park as spots for your car wash.
No, initially Grady had recommended to me to not be setting a precedent
Yeah,
to then see if it was an interest of a 15-minute parking, nothing to do with
right.
my business,
Okay.
but it would in line with my business
Yeah.
because people aren't often gonna be there for longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I just kind of think to myself, well, why don't we just have a general meeting and say, hey, you know, can we find a different place to park?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here, but
I don't know what the answer to that is. I really don't. When it comes to public parking, like, how can, I'm not, don't take offense to this or anything. It's just, how do I go and say to, I don't know, who, somebody that's parked over, how do I go and say to David and Derek, don't park where you're parking because you're taking up space? You know how that's gonna go over. I don't know what the answer to
I
it.
don't think Dave parks in an area where it's affecting anything. He's parked, almost a full block. He's parked, like his white truck, his GMC Sierra, is parked a ways down. If
It's
you would
just
park
out the
next to
back
that
door,
pole-
it's just across the street, diagonal wise, which
Yeah, but
represent the parking for somebody.
But he'd be a block over from, like, he'd be
Yeah, he's a
west
block
over
from,
and then.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then more over. So that would be the equivalent to town employees parking the other side of the lane.
Yeah, so the town employees, right, they don't park in front of the town office because that's their business, right?
Yeah, I
So they park to the side.
Yeah.
Okay, your business is on the other side of the street, so if the parking was a problem in front of your car wash, James, I could see making a special stop, a 15-minute period or no wait period in front of like your laundromat, right? Cause if I'm bringing my laundry, your laundromat, I don't wanna walk 7 blocks to bring my laundry into the laundromat in the winter, right? But to say, make that 15-minute parking because the town employees are there from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Right? So then we can make space for your car wash, because that's essentially what you want.
Not necessarily.
That's what we want. We want to create an empty space when people are waiting at the car wash, right? Because they're not going to the park.
I wouldn't agree,
Right.
because my reason for this meeting is to say that that's a terrible spot.
Right, but at the beginning, you talked about Grady, right? But there was an agreement between you and Grady about
Yeah.
where your vacuum was in the town office parking there to stay away from your car, and then all of a sudden vacuums popped up.
Yeah.
Right, then you want spots on the other side of the street now, right? So if it was Myers and it was in front of his store and people are parking there to then go spend a couple hours in Golden Castle,
Mhm.
right? And people are trying to get groceries in and out, we could see a no stopping zone there or something, right?
Mhm.
But to switch parking beside a park and on public parking when people are trying to park off Main Street now,
Mhm.
right? And then our employees too as well, they use their own vehicles to go to the rink and go here and go there.
Mhm.
Same as some of them are on the fire department, right? So to have them park all the way down there to do other tasks as well, doesn't work either, right? So if someone wants to come and park there and then there's no parking for anybody else, they're not gonna get mad and say, well, someone's parked in our spot, because it's not town of Carberry parking, right? It's public parking. So then all of a sudden, down beside the school, we'll have to make parking there, right? And then down, beside Westover, we can say like, hey, no, this for Westover customers only, right? And that's where it starts getting tricky, right? Do you know what I mean? And then we have no actual bylaw to enforce really any of it. We don't have a town bylaw person that comes around every day and go, you're there 50, because I go to the school every morning, same as you,
Mhm.
dropping the daughter off. And there's people waiting in the drop off there for 30, 40 minutes with their kids, right? And then there's young mothers trying to get their kids in the winter in the snow, little babies into the daycare, right?
Okay, so there's two ways to look at it. There's one, initially, I was talking to Grady about my business. The second thing, I'm sitting at home, I'm thinking, why would we block up areas where customers that could go to Calvin's to Westover in a perfect spot to park, next to a park? Why would we block that up? Nothing to do with my business. Why?
Well, we don't though, because the town employees park off to the side so they can park across from Callahan's at lunchtime.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the first street off of Main Street is right next parallel to a little park. Why
Yeah,
are we
but there's
blocking
also
that?
Westover too, right? And there's also beside Myers. So I can park beside Myers Meats and then walk over to Callahan's if I wanted. And Dave Myers, that owns Myers Meats, can't say anything to me because it's public parking, right?
Mhm.
That's what like we're trying to get at. So once we open a can of worms, start making special parking,
Mhm.
right? Then all of a sudden, all those areas that you're talking about are all designated parking now. So now you can't just come and park and go to wherever, go to the park or go to Callahan's. Now have to park there just to be at the park, right?
I know, I think there's a misunderstanding here. There's a misinterpretation. You're not asking for designated parking
Not
for
at
your
all.
business.
No,
You're just saying basically what we were doing a couple of years ago, asking, or more so somewhat telling, if you own your business, don't park in front of it on Main Street, allow for customers.
yeah,
And I get what you're saying. So I guess it comes down to the fact, and I'll ask Teresa, you park there all the time. Would you be interested in parking somewhere else if it wasn't too far? I mean, I'll just ask you what's your thoughts on this?
Well, the other options are to park at the CVM parking lot. We're behind Westover, and they're both actually quite full. So to add 4 more vehicles to both those parking lots, there isn't gonna be room for us to park there either on a regular basis. There might be the odd day through the week, but there's a lot of staff that already park in those parking lots. All of Myers staff park behind Westover.
Yeah,
And the guild staff and whoever else are parking in the CBM parking lot. So to add 4 more vehicles to that space, and there isn't enough room behind this.
no, there's enough room behind. But I'm just thinking out loud.
Cause we did look in behind at the back lane and it's just too narrow, especially in the winter when they
Yeah,
come down
yeah.
there with the backhoe and stuff to clear it out. There's just no spot.
What if, well, thinking out loud, and I don't want to cause any ruffle any feathers, but we own CVM Park. We own the parking lot behind Credit Union. Why couldn't we designate 2 parking spots for?
and I think if that parking lot was efficiently like lined, you could fit 4 cars in the parking lot. Like, there's no line, so people are taking up 2 or 3 spots at a time. I didn't know that the town owned that. I was correct and thought it was the CBM, but I always thought it was the town.
The only one
Yeah,
that
no,
owns-
all the parking lots are
the
ours.
only one that owns parking lot is Bud City. They own their own parking.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, if that's ours.
Like,
No,
we're
it's
just
not,
talking about,
no,
we're
I
just talking
believe
about,
that's ours.
No,
Because we plow it.
That's, yeah, we did that. There was a deal arranged like
Really?
30
Okay.
years ago. Yeah. They allow,
we're only talking about 4 spots.
What's
Like,
that?
We're only talking about 4 spots. It's not like if nothing happens part of this meeting, it's fine. I'm just saying that I think as a person that wants our town to collect as much money as we can, within the community, you know,
Mhm.
we have better places to park, like,
You know what? We're not gonna solve anything right now, but why don't you leave it with us? And let's talk about it, okay? See if we can come up with something. I thought, and I misunderstood or misinterpreted. I thought you were gonna ask for specific. And
no,
I
no,
know.
I wouldn't expect that. Grady said, initially I asked, yes, correct.
Yeah.
I initially asked if I could rent those parking spaces,
Yeah.
because one, I'd expect to have a cost
Yeah.
but then he said, that's not gonna happen. So I said, someone mentioned about the 15-minute parking, I don't know who it was, but so then I went that route, and then that was, a no. So then I was kind of thinking at home, like, if with my employees park, and I would just tell them, find a different place to park. And I expressed that to you when you came by in the office, and it came across probably in a rude way, I didn't mean to. But if someone from Carberry says, let's go to Callahan's for supper, and there's nowhere to park or lunch, let's say, because it's usually full between 7:30 and 5:30 without lunch, but at lunchtime, it's completely open. So it obviously shows that it's the same people that are parking there. So if someone at lunch said, let's go to Callahan's for lunch, and then there's nowhere to park because there's 4 town vehicles parked there, well, let's just go to Brandon, and at the same time, let's stop at Walmart.
Yeah, can I be fair too? I'll just be honest, right? There's 2 of those employees that go home every day for lunch, pretty much. So that time you talk about for lunch, they're gone home. Cause I know one of them I'm married to, right?
3.
Yeah,
So
3 of
there's
them.
3 of them that go home, they go home at lunch, Dave, so they're not even here at lunchtime.
so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it shows that over lunch
They're not gonna be
period,
gone yet.
no one's parked there, so that's
Yeah, no, but then they're open, right? They go home for lunch,
perfect, and someone could park there.
then they come back from lunch and then it's open, right? So I don't see the, I'm just trying, I'm trying to be honest, cause if we take up 3 spots or 4 spots over there, right, then Gail's gonna say, well, we have, and then the RM, right, and then
To be
the,
honest, my wife is partnered good and she has no right to say that because it's town owned.
Yeah.
Right.
They should be kicking them out. It's like, it's,
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there could be a solution. Let us talk about this.
figure something out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah.
Can you leave it with us
Yeah.
and we'll talk
Yeah.
about it and
And get back.
I feel like you know, if,
when you think about it the way you're talking,
Mhm.
I can kind of see your point because yeah, we are growing.
Mhm.
And we do need parking spots for customers, not gonna lie. I mean, yes, it's that whole place where you're down there. I mean,
and
that's,
people give up, people give up.
We tried even talking about James, like Main Street there, like how Nipah has it, like kind of on an angle. We tried, we talked in length, was it last year or something
Yeah.
about that? And like trying to get it, so instead of parallel parking, it's like that kind of angled parking.
Mhm.
We're looking at that as well too, but I think we're also waiting for like that last block of Main Street to be paved, right? So that way when people park, it's not, cause you know, how people park here, one person parks like this, the
Yeah.
next person parks like this. And the next person, and then you can almost get like 3 cars in there, at least this way it's lines and they would be able. But I think there was something about it, the long truck parked on the corner or these sort of stuff. What, yeah, like a long box or something that they'd be sticking out, but
Mhm.
they're all things, if the town's growing, we have to look at
I agree.
switching, you know, at least, and if Main Street's gonna be busier, we have to look at maybe not all of Main Street, but maybe a part of Main Street that's, you know, bigger, because even I know at the end of Main Street, boys talked about something at the end of Main Street too, that'd be sort of like a turnaround and parking area or whatever too, but we're waiting for like, the plan was when the last block of Main Street was kind of, like, I get, like, I'll just explain and jump in anytime, but we were waiting for a certain amount of empty buildings to then fill up.
Yeah.
And then look at fixing the back, like this part
Yeah.
of Main Street, which is happening, right?
So
So,
if it was Ian Callahan's fast after the parking, I would walk over and talk to Ian Callahan and say, hey, you know, and you'd have this discussion, so it's like.
right, but fortunately for Callahan's though, his back lane, there's room to park,
Mhm.
right? Here, there is no room, right? Cause there's that parking lot there, right? And then it's all pretty much open back there. So he has room to park his cars back there if he needs to.
Yeah, I understand.
we can come up with a solution. If you leave it with us, we'll talk about it and get
Okay,
back to you.
sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very
Maybe
much.
I could say something?
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
No, Bill, sorry, Bill's Bill's online.
go ahead, Bill.
I would like to say something. Is there any chance that we could allow James to have a 15-minute loading zone in front of the entrance to his laundromat, which could be used for cars to wait for the to drop off stuff at the laundromat and also be in line for the car wash?
I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it's gonna add to congestion, so.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
think right now people are panicking at the intersection and parking in the back lane. It's my issue, like maybe I just close it and build a new one, I don't know, but I'm trying to think of ideas for.
Yeah.
My reason to come to this meeting, because I feel quite strongly that shouldn't be parked by people daily. I think it should be for retail customers to spend money in our town. I'm here, I'm gonna waste my time if I for 15-minute parking, I wouldn't expect it. I might ask for it, but I wouldn't expect it. This, I kind of think that it should happen. So,
Yeah, leave it with us. I think we've got a solution. You got anything more, Bill, or no?
No, that was my idea for tonight. If we could do that, at least try it temporarily. Give
We'll
them a
talk about this.
Mhm.
We'll talk about it later, Bill, okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, all right.
yeah, sounds good.
Thanks for coming
Thank you a
out.
lot.
Wanna wait for this for the in-camera portion? Because I think there might be an idea here. We can
Okay.
do something.
Yeah, sure. I
Um,
believe we're on resolution 292-25, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Bang.
bang, boom. Okay. We have resolution number 292-25, be it resolved that the accounts check number 16439 to check number 16506 totaling $585,821.24 electronic payments of $232,861.63, and direct withdrawals of $2,552,744.70 be approved for payment. Moved by
Mike,
seconded by
I move,
Bill?
all right, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Bill is seconded. You went through all the checks, Bill?
I did. The $2 million was because of a mistake that the credit union made.
Yeah, the ISEP funding, yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
that is correct. Otherwise,
Everything good?
what's that?
Everything's good on your end then?
Everything looked good otherwise, yes.
Okay, anybody else got anything? Straightforward, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried.
For the purposes of the record, what was that, about 2.5 million? Is there a reason that should be mentioned? Because it sticks out like a sore thumb.
It's in my report if you want
It
to
is.
refer to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, we'll move to unfinished business. We have resolutions from the joint meeting, cleaning tender and policy. I have resolution number 293-25. Be it resolved that council approve the 122 Main Street cleaning tender as presented. And further be it resolved that council adopt policy number JS02-2025 contract cleaning of joint facilities policy as presented. Moved by.
Sam.
Seconded by.
Bill,
Questions? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Grants and community support policy application form. We have resolution number 294-25. Be it resolved that council adopt policy number JS03-2025 grants and community supports policy and grant application as presented. Moved by.
Mike,
Seconded by
Debbie.
Debbie. Questions? Comments? Concerns? Straightforward. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Compensation for joint utility foreman. We have resolution number 295-25. Be it resolved. The council authorize a monetary bonus of $2 per hour to Shane McCullough in recognition of his service in assuming the responsibilities of the manager of joint services during the interim period between employees from September 10th to October 27th, 2025. Moved by.
Mike,
Seconded by.
Bill,
Brought up at the joint and
I
conversation.
know he stepped up, so get the place runnings.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. In addition, a token of appreciation also be included. It should have included that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wasn't included in the joint resolution, so that's why I didn't include it.
I think they were talking about buying him a gift certificate as a token of
Yeah.
appreciation.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, we have closure of parking lot at end of Main Street for Christmas in Carberry. We have resolution number 296-25. Be it resolved that council approve the closure of the parking lot at the end of Main Street on November 28th, 2025 from 9 to 2000 hours for Christmas in Carberry festivities, with conditions being confirmation of liability insurance, a business plan, and financial plan. Moved by.
Sam.
Isn't it the 29?
Or whatever you want to call it.
Great on the Saturday for this year.
I've got down in my notes.
Well, we can make it for the 28th,
Well,
last 29th,
yeah,
and then just pick, because we're just both days,
Yeah.
but there's nothing wrong with that, just
Yeah.
maybe we can close.
if they wanted to decorate early, right?
That's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just make it November 28th, 29th, and then they can close it whenever.
Can we do that? Like if you put 28th of it, what if they close the street?
On the 28th, yeah.
Gotta be careful.
It's just the parking lot, though. It's not the end of
Yeah.
Main Street, it's just the parking lot, right?
Oh,
So if they close off the parking lot early on the 28th, like
Yeah.
block it off and then put the barrels, and
okay.
it's good for the next day or whatever.
Yeah,
That's the way you stop the transporters from
If they
parking
also
there.
wanted part of- I think they
What's
also
that?
wanted, I think they also wanted part of Fourth Avenue, south of the hotel for possibly floats and that.
He hasn't asked for that specifically.
Yeah, he asked for the parking lot.
He asked for the parking lot, but he did mention something about along the street by the hotel that way.
Floats for the
for
park.
parking.
Well, the floats are gonna be in that, parking lot. That's where they're wanting to line them up for judging. But I think he said there was gonna be some along the road too. Or along the
Yeah,
Why do we wanna do this, put November/28th, 29th? And then leave it at that and it'll work itself
Yeah,
out?
for this year.
Yeah.
They said that they would plan differently for Meatwas next year. So
Okay.
we'll have more detail.
When is the memory tree lightings supposed to take place?
The 28th.
Well, that's what I thought.
But if you're saying, yeah, you're right, it's the parking lot, so even if we have 28th, 29th, it's not gonna affect
Yeah.
anything.
and they're gonna put it up
Yeah.
whenever they.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me reread this motion, okay? So we have resolution number 296-25, be it resolved, the council approves the closure of parking lot at the end of Main Street on November 28th/29th, 2025, from 9 AM to 4 PM, is that what? it is?
8.
8? 8,
300.
yeah, 2000.
Yeah.
For Christmas and Carberry festivities, with conditions being confirmation of liability insurance, a business plan, a financial plan. Moved by Sam, you still want to move it?
Yeah.
Seconded by,
Mike,
any discussion further or no?
I think he wanted 10. For
the
the
2200, yeah.
22.
So,
So this will be 22 instead of
You guys,
200.
I'm sorry, you're gonna read that again, right?
well, then I don't have to read it again.
No.
Are you okay
No,
with
yeah.
20
Yeah,
22?
it's basically at 9 in the morning till 10 at night.
Okay. All right, you're good with that, Bill?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried.
Yay.
Get a nurse and an ex-soldier, and a railroader. We know our 24-hour clock.
That's right, yeah.
Tenders for landlocked, 0.25 acre property, 7-1680, roll 5500. I'll read this resolution. We have resolution number 297-25. Be it resolved that council approve the proposal from Harley Dick to purchase landlocked 0.25 acre property, 7-1680, roll number 50500, for the purchase price outlined in the offer to purchase. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by,
Sam,
Bill,
Sam seconded. We had a bit of discussion earlier on this through email and, it's pretty straightforward. Everybody's, no questions or comments?
no,
Okay, I will call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. You're good with it, Bill?
yes, I am.
We have general business. We have the alcohol policy. I will read, resolution number 298-25. Be it resolved that council adopt policy number GG 11-2025 alcohol policy as presented. Moved by,
maybe.
seconded by,
Mike, we'll need to pull it up because I wanna point something out.
okay,
We can just pull it up real quick.
I sure can.
up, here. You want it?
No, it's, that's the AMM one.
Okay.
What was the number of GT?
Mhm.
This will be a P.
Now, if we go down, I wish I could scroll myself, keep going down. Down there, right there. Minors.
Mhm.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
So we can't have safeguard with this policy.
Items are prohibited from purchasing handling.
Safeguard the minors weren't allowed to drink.
They aren't doing any, they aren't
No?
allowed to do this under their liquor license.
Yeah, this would still apply
Oh.
even if mine is.
still-
Yeah.
You
The
still
minor's
need to
gonna
get a bracelet.
Okay,
But they can't purchase, handle, serve, or consume the alcohol.
right, so how does safeguard work then?
That's
All
what they have,
the-
parents and security and whatever else.
And they're to
Okay.
make sure that,
Okay, I was just making, because I, like, where I grew up, that was never a thing, so it's still all new to me,
Oh.
right? Because I don't know, because I was just making sure that.
yeah,
Again, if, like, sometimes when we do something, sometimes it's a small thing we miss, and then all of a sudden it's a
Yeah.
problem. So I just wanted to bring that up, just to make
Right.
sure that,
and that's in their guidelines too. for
okay.
safeguard.
good, I just wanted to double check, that's why I brought it up.
We've
Say
got
for
the
after years, it's, they have the grad committee from the parents and I mean, they have a large contingent of parents show up and they make sure everything is,
And they
everything.
stay all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just, again, I'm just making sure, because like,
Well, they can't purchase right?
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be handling it. They're supposed to drink non-alcohol and they're not supposed to be consuming it. And that's up to the parents that are chaperoning that.
Yeah.
At that
Okay,
time.
I'm just double
Yeah.
checking because I'd hate to pass a
Yeah.
law, then all of a sudden find out,
Yeah, good.
you know,
Yeah.
there's this big thing that they have every
Yeah.
year for people to
Yeah,
be safe,
They're
and
not
then,
supposed to be consuming.
okay, no, that's,
Do
no,
we have any other properties that we would want? to
I looked
add?
at that and I didn't see any. I don't
Okay.
think we do.
So that, like, if the suggestion was say parks or anything like that, but we really don't have anybody, you know, having any events
about,
that would require
um,
liquor permit at parks.
What about out here at the fairgrounds? Do they have anything out
Well,
there?
that's the CRA.
Oh,
well,
that's CRM.
I wonder, I'd
Okay.
wonder if we'd wanna add or add the baseball diamonds.
Okay,
So if there was a tournament, a Royals game or whatever, if they
Yeah.
wanted to,
They could apply.
they could apply and do that and have a tent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
trying to think ahead, right?
that's good. Yeah.
Because even then, if we look at the new, like, the new campground,
Mhm.
if someone's having a family reunion or whatever, it's still our property, right? So
Mhm.
at least this gets us on the, so if well, I'm gonna just say, if the Royals are having a big tournament, or there's a big tournament
Mhm.
going in, like, adults, that they could have what's like at the fairgrounds, right? Because the fairgrounds isn't ours, it's
No, right.
the fairgrounds, right? But this is ours.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just, maybe we just plop that one on there and it can,
That's a good option. Anybody have anything else?
The only other one I thought about was the drop-in center. I know they don't,
I was thinking about that.
yeah, they, normally they don't do alcoholic stuff, but I kind of thought maybe once they did something with wine.
Just in case, hey?
But
Yeah.
if they do decide to do it, like it's set up, and if they do decide going forward to have some kind of a function, at least it's covered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had a wedding there once too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If maybe
Yeah.
required.
so if they're on the list, it just kind
Yeah.
of covers us, right? Instead of going, it's not on the list, you can't
Yeah.
do it.
That's good.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I wanted to talk to you about this is, and this is standard operating procedure, I'm sure it would happen anyway. I just want to make sure that the alcohol policy is sent to all users and posted in a conspicuous spot.
Mhm.
That would be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but
And if maybe when they do take, or they rent for that policy comes in package
Yeah.
and they sign it.
yeah, that's it.
Or something like they sign, they acknowledge it, and then that'll just kind of cover our butts.
Yeah.
Too as well.
That's exactly right.
Good call.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I was trying to think to myself, I'm like, is this gonna, whatever. So,
Not like the old potato shed in grads.
No.
Do you have anything to add, Bill?
Bill, you got anything more?
No, that's fine. I agree with what you've said.
Okay, so everybody good with this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have Municipality of Sewers Glenwood request for support. So we have a resolution number 299-25, be it resolved that council, whereas secure and reliable communication is essential for the effective governance and administration of municipalities. And whereas the use of personal email accounts by council members for municipal business may pose risks to information security, privacy, and accountability, as personal email accounts may be accessible to individuals other than council members, such as family members who should not have access to confidential council communications. And whereas designated municipal email accounts provide greater assurance of security, record keeping, and compliance with legislative requirements, and also support continuity for members of a new council term by ensuring that incoming council members have access to relevant correspondence and records regarding ongoing municipal business. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Carberry requests the Association of Manitoba Municipalities lobby the provincial government to make it a requirement that all municipalities are secure designated municipal email accounts for council communications and prohibit the use of personal email accounts for municipal business. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by.
Sam.
Bill,
I have something to say. Sam got it, Bill. So
Okay.
Bill and I went to the last, Western District Conference in Souris, and this came up, and this was quite a deal. And I'm guilty of this, maybe other people around. When you get emails sent to you, to your personal emails such as these, if something were to happen, money go missing, improprieties, whatever, they can secure that as, evidence in a court.
Yeah.
And they have access to what's on there and possibly whatever else is on there.
Mhm.
And it's happened in other municipalities. And as soon as they said that, it was like, uh-oh. So from now on, going forward, we use our tablets, what they were meant for. So that makes sense to everybody?
Yeah, so like, yeah, like even when I get, let's say somebody I know, like sends me to one to like my personal email,
Yeah.
right? I'll just forward that to my town one.
Yeah.
Like, so it's in my town, I delete it off my
Yeah.
personal one.
Yeah.
So like even if someone goes to my normal Mike Sudak one.
Yeah.
Right, I'll just go and I flip it over. Cause sometimes people get your email, they just, your friends, if somebody send an email that way, just cause you're on the. So then I just remind them that this is my town of Carver email, and that way it's.
So when they go on there, some of them sat around the table, I mean, I can't prove it, but they said there have been instances where they just will scrutinize your phone right through, so going forward, that's what they basically said, right, Bill?
That was it, yes. And there's
Well,
hackers all the time too.
Well, we, like, on our phone, like, I have my personal one and then my town one.
Yeah.
But my town one is under the security of our network, right? Like on this, even though it's on this phone, it's a separate. But if I was getting, instead of us setting up a town of Carberry email, which we have, you just come on the council and you're Ray Muirhead at Gmail.
Yeah.
And I'm Mike Sudak at Gmail, and this is our normal accounts.
Yeah.
That's where you can get people going in. If it's on our town of Carberry one, like on my mobile, it's still under our network, which is secured. That's why we have to put in that whole big long pin rate on your phone.
Yeah.
So like, for like, let's say, my daughter to get on she has to go on my password on my phone, open that up, and then open up that folder for my town of Carberry stuff.
Yeah.
But if someone hacked my phone here, with the security we have here, it won't compromise their town of Carberry one. So even if someone went in my Hotmail one,
Yeah.
it won't get into our town because it'll lock them out of that Outlook one, because it's a different
Yeah.
account.
I see what you're saying, but if you still have it on your phone, there is a chance they could
That
come
they
back
can-
and say, okay, Mike Sudak, I want your phone.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can
they
take
You
it.
just gotta give that phone over.
Yeah. It'd be up to, but I see it, but then it would be hard for like us for communications to take the, it's easy, like if we had an emergency.
Yeah.
Something, we're talking about something real quick, other than, because as well too, they can seize your phone though as well, because my phone number is on my business card, so unless the town of Carberry gave me my own personal phone like the OFC does.
Yeah.
Then even on communication, so even if you're not using email, because we talk through my phone, right?
Yeah.
They can seize my phone.
Mhm.
And
Anyways,
that
right?
was the other, conversation we had, right, Bill, is they said that might be the answer, is not only providing the tablets, but also providing each council member with their own separate town phone. Didn't they say that, Bill?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's something to think about, but anyways, this spells out pretty clearly what
Yeah,
needs to go forward. So is there any other questions on it?
Yeah.
no,
Okay, all right, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, it is carried. Emergency plan, part 1, 2, and 3. We have resolution number 300-25, be it resolved that council adopt the 2026 emergency response plan as submitted by municipal emergency coordinator Sudak. Moved by
Bill,
Sam,
Sam, seconded by Bill. I just have a couple
Yeah.
of questions on here. We're using the old town hall as the emergency in our, should we still do that, or should we do something different? I'm
Well-
just saying, like, when the whole accident happened a couple of years ago, we used this place.
Mhm.
And then when the fire happened a couple of years before that, on last term, we used their place. I'm just throwing it out here, for access, stairs, all the rest of it, for space, for technology hookups and that. Should we use this space? It's our emergency plan, it's the town of Carberry's, or should we use, and I go back to the drop-in center for access? I mean, there's no stairs, your street front, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me one way or the next, but I just thought that's one thing I wanted to bring up. Is
So- Yeah, so like I think the only reason why it is because the emergency generator rate, so like that way if there is a large storm or snowstorm or something, then we have to set up a communication center, like with whatever,
Yeah.
there's that generator there that will always power that hall, which we don't have here in the office,
at the old town office?
at the old town hall.
No,
Or no, sorry, at the community hall.
yeah, you're talking about 122 Main though, right?
Isn't that what is specified as 122
Yeah, I
main?
think so.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
And that's a little
Okay.
outdated, that place.
So we should change it to like you said.
I mixed that, I thought I read the community hall, maybe I
No.
mixed that.
Yes,
I
the
apologize.
old town hall.
Well, yeah, so maybe we should look at changing that up,
Yeah,
because it would only make sense for reasons you just gave. It's got the generator and all that.
Yeah, cause
And
there's
one room.
there and the fire hall would be your two places that would
Yeah.
be able to be.
And if emergency happens, I'm sure the fire hall is gonna be congested itself.
Oh,
mhm.
So I would suggest the Carver
Yeah.
Community Hall. What's what's your
Yeah.
thoughts, Bill?
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then the only other thing I had on part 3, phone numbers for my contact are wrong. So
okay.
they need to be updated.
I
And
thought I
would-
thought I updated those, sorry.
Yeah, it's just part 3. I think everything else is good. It's just the part 3 part.
Okay,
And I'm assuming this emergency plan is going to be available on our website. Isn't the other one? It's always on our website. Eh?
I would hope so, if
Mhm.
not.
Okay, that was the only questions I had. And yeah, so anybody else? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so, because I don't have it, it was, 3 parts, but, could we have, one for, you know, if the, like, let's say something like the accident or, a wildfire where the power hasn't gone out yet, you can have this as your primary and that as your secondary. Because really, if you're gonna have people coming in, or like if you're gonna talk to the media, they're gonna come to the town office, but if the power was out, you know, that'd be your secondary, you know, place to set up.
So have here be a primary and the hall, the memorial hall be a secondary, is what you're proposing?
If I read that right, I might be reading.
Which part is it in? Do you guys remember? Is it in 1, 2, or 3?
It was, I think part 1 was the Emergency Measures Act through the province and scope, and then part 2, I believe, was where, it was
That's where it
referred
is.
to, right?
It's in there.
Yeah.
I believe it's in there.
The first place people are gonna go to is either the fire hall or the town office, right?
Right.
But if the power was out,
You go to 2.1, opening the Emergency
Oh.
Operations Center. Yeah, 122 Main Street, the primary is at the Old Town Hall. So that needs to change. The emergency, or the alternate rather, emergency operating center is at the crop diversification. So I would imagine they want it out there in case there's major ammonia leak, you got to evacuate town.
Yeah,
So if you have to evacuate town, yeah, you would probably want to leave that in there.
yeah, absolutely.
And then, primary one, I would still say the town hall. Cause
The
we're,
community hall,
or community
right?
hall, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Carver
Community.
Community Hall. Yeah,
But the
everybody,
generator.
you just gotta remember though, if something happened, right, and you declare a state of emergency for the town of Carberry.
Yeah.
You have to pack up everything here and move it right away. So,
so we'll leave it as the community hall. The
sure,
fire-
yeah, that sounds, yeah, it just, cause it has a, yeah, and it has a backup and then. But the only other thing, just to, maybe just talk with Callie, because that's also a fallback for people as well too. That's why the emergency generator was put there as
Yeah,
well. So I don't know.
but there's lots of room for,
Yeah, shelter in place.
but for now, we're just dealing with the emergency plans.
Right.
So if we're all good with changing that, do we still want to adopt this, like
I
pass the
just have a
resolution?
couple
Oh,
more
wait, I'm
things. Is
sorry.
that
Go
okay?
ahead. Yeah,
Just a couple of corrections. On page 10 of this document, we have, it's listing an EDO in there. And I think we should replace that or change it to our assistant
Mhm.
CAO.
Mhm.
And then I have a lot of spelling corrections.
Oh,
Yeah, back in the
So-
beginning of it, there were.
Oh, in this part 2 and some in part 3.
okay.
There's many. And it's just a slip of the finger, I'm sure, like
Yeah.
sometime there's an S missing or there's 4 instead of fog.
Yeah.
You know, those,
Okay.
so if she can just
Yeah,
proofread it
I'll
again,
get- sure,
okay?
Sure.
And then just this one, I mentioned it to her after I read it, but
Yeah.
that fleet net is PSCS radio. That's what the province uses as well too. So,
But you told her about that, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so she can change that.
Is PSPF,
CS. Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
So I don't think I had any more questions.
So we
So
can-
just,
Oops, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, we don't have to pass this today. Like, we can table this and. It's not due till the
Whatever.
end of the month. If you
Okay.
want to make these adjustments and then officially pass it in December, we can do that.
well, a lot of them are
Counter.
spelling.
Yeah, I mean, we
Error.
can
I think
always,
she just
we
needs
can
to
always
proofread it.
reword it and say as revised or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever she wants.
Okay,
You wanna do that? At least it's done?
I'm okay with that. If
You guys okay with it?
Yeah, I'm
You're okay with that, Bill?
Yes,
So. So do we wanna put in there adopted 2026 emergency response plan as revised?
Sure,
Instead of as submitted, we'll
Yeah.
put revised?
that's
as
revised.
revised and submitted.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this again then. We have resolution number 300-25, be it resolved that council adopt the 2026 emergency response plan as revised and submitted by the municipal emergency coordinator, Sudak. Still moved by Sudak and still moved by,
Oh, I had
No,
Sam.
Sam and Bill.
Tim and
Bill.
or, okay, Sam and Bill.
Yeah.
We're good with that?
Mhm.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you. We have resolution, auditor appointment, resolution number 301-25, be it resolved that council appoint Exchange Group as their auditor for the 2025 budget year. Moved by,
Like,
seconded by.
Debbie?
Questions? Straightforward.
Mhm.
Bill?
No, that's good. Carry on.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Healthcare resident policy update discussion. So I'm assuming we all read the healthcare residents, the White House,
Mhm.
and we went through the policy. We had some questions, Teresa and myself, and I know we've talked about this around the table since we got the house. So everything in the policy that you submitted looks good, but nowhere in there does it say who pays, who doesn't pay, and how much. So I think the original thought when we got that house was to provide it for healthcare, whether it's healthcare aides or agency nurses, even a doctor, anything to do with healthcare. And we were gonna charge agency nurses because they make good bucks, they can
Mhm.
afford it. But as far as, and I've used this example before, young healthcare aide comes out, middle of winter, 40 below, her car doesn't start. But we still gonna charge her for a place to stay. I think the thought back then, and correct me if I'm wrong, we were just gonna let them use it as for free of charge. The only ones we were gonna charge was gonna be agency nurses.
Yes.
Is that, am I
Or
right with that?
agencies,
Yeah,
because the healthcare aides fall under that.
yeah. So that's, you're good with that, Bill? Do you remember that?
I thought that was how it was supposed to be, yes.
Okay,
No,
so if we're all good with that, then that's what we'll do going forward.
yeah, because I thought it was to try to bring like healthcare workers to
Mhm.
Carberry, like to work in
Yeah.
Carberry, right? So
Yeah.
that taking a shift here was
Yeah.
easy. Paramedics taking a shift here.
Yeah, but
was
you know
easy.
how much money a healthcare aide makes, not nearly as much as an agency nurse. So it's only for agency nurses.
Ray,
Yes,
I
Bill.
did have one question. There was a
Yeah.
question brought forward at the joint meeting by one of the council members. And his wife apparently works here. Is she regular staff or agency?
He's regular staff.
Okay, regular staff, then no problem.
Yeah.
What about medical people like doctors? If we were to,
We still have the
doc-
doctor suite up north.
okay, we'll be talking about that later though, won't we?
Yeah,
Okay,
right now, and this is just me talking, I don't know what the rest of the council feels. I feel right now we keep it simple. We're talking agency nurses or healthcare people. So agency nurses pay, healthcare people don't. And then if something comes up, down the road, individual stuff, we can address that at the time. I don't know if we need to.
So pretty much if your employer is shared health.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is. If
Yeah.
your employer is directly shared health.
Yeah.
Then,
PMH.
or PMH, then that's who you fall in.
Yeah.
But if you're a contract
Yeah,
outside of it, you pay, you're
Yeah.
gonna pay. Yeah, that's an easy way to put it. PMH is shared health. It's under the
Yeah.
province and then everybody else,
Yeah.
yeah.
does that give you direction,
Yep.
Teresa? Okay. So we don't have a resolution, but you'll just add that to the policy, Teresa, and we can pass it at the next.
Yes, we'll pass a revised version at December's meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Reports. We don't have a youth counselor report because the youth counselor's not here. CAO report, I'm sure we've all read that.
He may be showing up in half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably forgot.
Yeah.
CAO, we all read the CAO report. Any questions, comments? Okay.
No,
ACO report, same. Public Works report. Questions? No.
no.
Committee report. What's that, Bill?
well, I just add a little comment about the Public Works report. Some of the wording in there was a little bit interesting. Well, we'll talk about it another time.
All right, committee reports, protective services provided in joint meeting. We had a lot of these reports that were provided to us. That's a new direction we're going now. So we're asking the sub boards and committees to provide reports in depth, some of them, and just to provide us for information for all of us. So a lot of these where it says provided, it already was. So protective services, we have that. Public Works provided. Buildings, we have a meeting scheduled for this week, right?
Yes, Thursday.
Waste management, another meeting scheduled this week. Archives was provided. Arts Council provided. Cemetery provided. Museum,
They have a meeting on Wednesday.
they have a meeting on
Yep.
Wednesday, so that would be next. Handy van was provided. And the rest of them, library, health action, planning, white mud. I can speak to something with health action that we had a meeting last week and I gave a report, an update, if you will, on Dr. Maharaj. Do you want me to give that here now?
Sure.
Okay. So Dr. Maharaj called me a few times early last week. And the update from him is he has secured the clinic space at the pharmacy. So that's done. He came to Carberry and he brought some office stuff out and stored it in my back shop. So he's committed. We went down and we looked at the space. He took me down. He took me out for dinner as well. But anyways, we went and looked at the space and it's a lot bigger and differently set up than what I thought it was. I think it's going to work out good. So he's got some contractors he's dealing with to upgrade the HVAC system and plus knock a wall out and add a little bit of an extension on. And he also said he's working with a guy, I don't want to give his name out for public, but he's been working with a guy who now owns as a sole owner of Wheat City Clinic, of which Dr. Maharaj was partner of. And because he owns Wheat City Clinic, he deals with incoming doctors, so on and so forth. There might be very possibly 2 doctors coming from outside the country, I think from overseas. They have no place to put these doctors at Wheat City because they're full. So there is a chance, and Dr. Maharaj suggested to the guy that bring him to Carberry. And he can make it work in an office space in the pharmacy. So what he wants, and he's gonna get back to me next week, he's Dr. Maharaj, he's gone overseas to a conference this week, but he's gonna find out more about it. He might need a letter of support and maybe a shove, if you will, to the government to fast track these doctors. They've done it before. He says at Wheat City Clinic, when doctors came, they could make sure they got in fast, as long as they meet the main criteria. So there's a question mark there that maybe there might be more coming. So that's the latest on that. What else did he say? No, it was pretty positive. Dr. Maharaj is on board. The equipment should be here. I thought he said at the end of November. He had it, and I don't know if I shared it with everybody or not, but I think he's aiming for end of November, start up first part of December, so
Because I was gonna ask you, like this down on Main Street here, it almost looked like the front of the clinic.
that's coming up later.
Okay, I
So
went by there today, I'm like,
on the corner,
yeah.
yeah, I'll announce that later.
Okay.
So, that's where we're at with that. So yeah, all systems are go so far, so
Cool.
we'll keep going on that. So that's what I've got for those. On the next one. Daycare provided.
Yeah, but did you find out any more, Teresa, about
I've
that
asked
land?
and they have not got back to me. And days,
From that?
Devin Dietrich, I sent him an email and he hasn't responded.
Like who's it?
He's, like the head of planning.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he'd be the guy that would know.
Yeah, he's Cypress, he's the.
Oh, right, sorry, okay, yeah, I thought you meant from down the street there.
No.
I didn't know, okay.
No, it's community planning, so we go through with Cypress and he's
Right.
the head guy there.
I do wonder if it falls into, like, because one party, they only sent the request to us. They didn't send the request to them, so that, but in the request, it was
Oh,
listed
right,
that it was a
okay.
jointly owned property. So
Right.
I'm wondering if even one party does the
Okay,
resolution
Yeah.
and the.
oh, that's good then, as long as
That's what
as long as we, yeah, as long as we did, and then
We-
Dallas is looking into their side, that's
We're gonna
fine.
hear sometime this week.
Okay.
The outcome of the subdivision.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've passed all the resolutions we need to
Yeah,
for.
and I have those answers too, did I tell you guys those answers on the sewer and the water
Mhm.
for them?
No, did you get it?
Yeah, so their contract states that they'll go up to the property line for the sewer, and then they're just looking into whoever installs the sprinkler system, that contract to tie into the hydrants, so
Okay.
they're just going back with that, so when I find out that, about that, the sprinkler system, then I'll let you guys know, so that way it's not a surprise or something, that's what we're trying not to do.
Good. That was daycare drop-in. I think you went to a meeting and I
did.
said Debbie, so.
October 30th it was. And at that meeting, they talked about their finances and their different plans that they have through that. They had a thank you vote for Melanie for a donation that she made to them. Their old business was the arrival and the purchasing of 10 tables. They had quite a discussion on the communication between the general membership and the board. And it was quite a lengthy discussion. There was some misunderstanding there, and they didn't know how to go about. There was misunderstanding from one community member that had actually had a private discussion with one of the board members at the public meal, and she felt very isolated and almost attacked at the time. So we talked about that and about how, they were town related employees or volunteers, and that we had a policy that went with that. So we talked about the policy there. Debbie had a copy of it. We passed it around, and that they should not have to put up with any type of disrespect or aggressive behavior.
Yeah.
And so after we got that all talked out in the policy and I told them to hang the policy on their bulletin board so that if anybody asks, it's right there. And I think we came away from that meeting much more
Good.
calm, and I think they're going to try to do a little bit more open communication, like with newsletters or something on their Facebook page, that type of thing. And then they went on to resolving the outstanding balance, and that was done and with no problem. They're talking about getting a new garbage bin for the back and where to locate it. They were going to connect with Brian Salt, to see if they wanted to go half with him. And, then they were gonna do some pricing with that. Their fall grants were delivered and they were quite grateful for that. And their next project is purchasing new chairs for the drop-in. And, Helen Downey is assigned to getting quotes. So
Perfect.
they're looking at like a procurement policy, like what we have for getting 3 quotes. And, because I think that was part of the initial discussion where the miscommunication came in. So,
Good, good, thank you. Flash Park White House provided. Any other reports on anything, questions?
I forgot to ask, did you end up finding that, agreement for the museum? The, like, tenant or whatever you wanna call it?
No, I'm sorry, I forgot to look for that. I will do that, Wednesday.
Okay.
and Mr. Mayor, I
Yes.
have, at the end of the month when we're in Winnipeg, I can't go to the Carberry Library meeting.
Okay.
So are you able to go to that?
Actually,
So I think I have everything down here and then I write the wrong time. It is 26th at 7:00.
7:00.
And if you can't go, let me know, I'll fill in, I can go.
Okay, that'd be great.
Good.
Thank you.
That, everybody? Okay, we'll read this resolution. We have you have nothing, Bill, do you? For
No, I
report?
don't. No, that's it.
We have resolution number 302-25, be it resolved that all reports be received by council as provided or presented. Moved by.
Mike.
Seconded by.
Sam.
All those all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have communications, we have Carberry Chamber of Commerce, October minutes. We all read that.
Yeah.
Stars, fall letter and request for support, straightforward. MTI, our snow clearing agreement for Main Street. I guess on First Avenue as well, ideally, yeah.
Mhm.
And Crime Stoppers fundraising campaign. Anything on that? Any questions? Oh,
It's the stars one. Last year we donated $1 per community member, I believe.
yeah,
Are we going to do that again this year?
I don't know. When do we
could
usually come up with that? Is that usually at budget time or do we do this now?
No, could we put it on the agenda for next month? For
Okay,
example.
we can do that.
Okay,
And maybe look at when we donate to them, because if they do got 2 letters, then we don't wanna maybe donate twice.
Yeah.
yes.
Good. Yeah, we can do that, Bill.
Okay, good.
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna read this resolution. Number 303-25, be it resolved that all correspondence be received by council. Moved by
Debbie,
Debbie, seconded by Bill. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We are at around the table. Mike, you're on.
Yeah, so I just got, winter time's here, the rink's being used. So to people using the rink, respect the rink. If you find something that is not right, bring it up to the staff in a respectable manner. So, just because you might not agree or you think something's dirty or whatever, doesn't mean that, the public can go in and, harass our staff or talk down to them. It's still harassment and we have a harassment policy. And personally, myself, our staff work hard in there. I know they do. And they might be on their break or they might be taking their break after they did the ice. It doesn't mean that you're their manager, being the public. You bring that up to their manager. And if people are going to talk to our staff in a rude sort of way, you'll be, I'll make sure you're kicked out of the rink for the year. So I'll just leave that at that. And as well as your kids, it's a community place, but it's also not a place to loiter and hang out for hours and hours on end, breaking things. I heard that there's some youth going in there, kind of breaking the teenagers are going in and kind of smashing up the kids area there for like young children. So I was witness to it myself. I seen a kid with a bat in there wrapped in a sweater. and I told him to get that, take that hat and leave. So again, we went through this the other year. That is a facility used by everybody, whether it's can skate, hockey, curling, whoever. And it's up to the community to all work together to make sure the place is staying together. So that includes, you know, I'm not blaming kids or whatever, but you know, there's lots of people that come in there. If we see something that's not right, bring it up to a staff member or their manager. And that's where that's gonna get fixed. Instead of yelling at staff or just pretending it's not happening and letting somebody rip a door off or whatever, right? So if people see that, gonna be a long winter, a lot of hockey being played and a lot of other sports. I just wanted to say that out loud before it became something at the end of the year. So,
Good. That's it.
yeah, that's it.
Are the dressing rooms checked before and after games?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They can be.
Maybe they should be, because I've heard last year that there was damage done by sometimes visiting teams, and well, why should we have to keep fixing doors?
The league should be notified if there's a group that goes in there, those rooms are designated to that team, right, for that certain amount of time. So if the staff go in there and notice that the place is destroyed, it's on the schedule who is in there, and whatever league or whatever is playing that tournament, the league could be notified, and then the team name given to the league. And then from there, fines will be given out through the league, right? That's from what I know. I'm not even a hockey guy. so-
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right,
All right.
Debbie,
I have nothing for round
Okay.
two.
Sam,
No, I should have wrote it down, but I don't remember.
okay. Billy, got anything?
Well, I'm glad to see that back lanes got graveled. They needed it. Hopefully some of those potholes on Main Street get fixed yet, or have they been fixed already? The other thing is, I think there was a substantial amount charged to the grader lately. What was that all about? Or not the grader, the loader.
Yeah, it broke down.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
I can
Uh,
ask you more details, but I just know that it broke down on him.
Okay. Is there any warranty applicable yet?
Yeah, he was supposed to look into that
Okay.
too. Yeah.
Other than that, I see a lot of things did get done, so that's good.
Yes.
Otherwise,
That it, me?
I don't think I got anything else. Just nice to see that vehicle gone off the sidewalk. And the other thing, in that same area, there was a car parked all the time across the sidewalk as well. That needs to stop.
Okay,
That's all I have.
okay. As far as me, I want to echo what Debbie and Mike said about the no harassment policy. I've seen it, I've heard about it, and we're not putting up with it. Not here, not at the drop-in center, not at the rink, not anywhere. It's hard enough getting good employees and retaining them without being abused by the public. So I echo that sentiment, and that's what I wanted to say. I got a call last Monday. He never said it was secretive. He said he was quite excited. Guy by the name of Brent Buds. He is the president of Stride Credit Union. I believe that's his title. Way back at the beginning of early summer, late spring, after we heard about BMO closing down, then Grady and Kara sent out some feelers to see who was available out there. We did a couple of interviews. We had RBC and CRBC come out. And we met over across at Callahan's with this Brent Butts, and he was interested, and we never heard anything back from him. Well, they phoned me last week to inform me that Stride Credit Union has bought BMO building, and they are moving to Carberry. They probably won't be here till spring. He says they have a lot of rebranding to do in the building. They're going to take it down to the studs and rebuild it as their own. They're going to redo the outside. They're going to try and set an office up here. I said to him, anything we can do to help, so they might not specifically ask us for office, but if we know of any office space or whatever, to meet with potential new clients, customers, that sort of thing. Yeah, So anyways, that's good. When I heard that, I said, good. I mean, I kind of long since forgot about it, but then he said, no, they did a lot of, figuring, market studies, the whole bit. I think they had a bit of a tough dealing with BMO over the building, but that's for them thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said, I mean, welcome to Carberry. That's a welcome addition to Carberry, and it's good to see that building getting used again. And as soon as he hung up, he contacted Teresa with the same, so.
Nice, nice.
So I think there will be some, I haven't seen it yet, maybe it's on today, but I think there will be some, advertisements stuck in the window down there just to let people know Stride's coming, so.
Well, it's
Very
good because there were some committees and stuff that were looking for financing on
Yeah.
their, on endeavors. And they're up in the air on who to bank with, and I didn't want to say
Yeah.
anything because I might have been wrong, but this opens the door to now.
Mhm.
Because it's hard for them to go to Brandon or
Yeah.
Portage all the time, so this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can that's awesome news, we could.
So that's where that's at. The only other thing I had, and I don't know how to look at this, I'm throwing it out there because I knew that the parking issue was gonna come up tonight. And I started thinking about all the no parking areas, the handicap, the yellow zones, the drop-in center, and so on and so forth. And I couldn't help but think of the loading zone at the Legion. Now, I know that came up several years ago because they had the van at the Legion, Bonspiel that were picking up and dropping off people. Is there any other reason we have that loading zone there? Like, does that have to be permanent?
I don't know.
Because I asked that question to myself and I thought, well, what is it there for? Like, if the Legion Bonspiel wants to have a loading zone, we could put one there temporarily. But to have a permanent loading zone, like in front of the Legion, what does the Legion have coming in that requires that? I don't know.
There used to be signs that we would put up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the bylaw worked, and they were at the public workshop, I think, I think they held on to them, and they put them out for Remembrance Day or like functions, like if they're doing a dinner or something, they would just go out at that time, but I do remember because of the apartments and a few other things, right?
Yeah.
It became.
29 Main has some cranky.
Yeah, yeah, we dealt with that, yeah.
So then it became a designated
Stretching
zone.
the loading zone to try and make the parking a little less complicated.
Because when they go in there for all the different things that they're doing, like they couldn't keep putting out the temporary one
Yeah.
because there was always people parked there.
Yeah.
That's what I remember from that.
Yeah.
Cause it also has to do with the snow clearing too, like they were parking there and the trucks. I think there was one truck with a cap on it,
Yeah.
remember? And it had like a cord running. Remember we had to deal with that too, it was just parked there all the time.
But as far as the Legion goes, for instance, tomorrow, there's gonna be a large contingent come out. I can see that, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do the loading zone, get the temporary barricades. But all year round, I know I've stopped at the thrift store and there's been people out and I gotta make the U-turn or wait and come back later. And there sits a loading zone not being used. And I'm thinking, what is the purpose of this? Unless you know something.
You know, they were just stretching the loading zone to try and stop the guy from upstairs from insisting that the right in front of the door was his parking spot.
Yeah.
Maybe we just talk to the Legion and ask them.
Yeah, I might do that. I maybe give Amanda a call. But if they don't need it, and I don't know the history behind it, do we really need it? It's something we should address at some point and it frees up 2 or 3 parking spots
Yeah.
on Main Street.
I think it was for bringing in a lot of the food, like for the dinners and for the funeral lunches and.
And that could still be, we're not gonna deny that. You can do the temporary, but to have it full time, that's quite a stretch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's all I had. What's that, Bill?
It could also have been to when the Legion was more active for parking so that people, handicapped veterans could be dropped off near the door.
Yeah, it could be. I'll find out anyway and see. And
Okay,
the only other thing I had is Remembrance Day tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm gonna show up. I'll lay a wreath on behalf of the town, so
Good.
I'll be there too.
see you there. That's all I had. Do you have anything, Teresa?
No.
Do you have anything, John?
Yeah, a question relative to that security policy, stuff comes to me on an email that's shared with my wife. Could I be setting up something special?
Well, maybe we
Give me
could
one, or-
Sure, yeah, let's. Let's.
But is gun stuff confidential though? Like it's
Well, if
not,
somebody contacts him, yeah, it would be.
But for the most part, what I'm getting is preparation for a public.
Oh,
that's what I mean, it's all public stuff, John,
Okay.
anyways, right?
I'm thinking it's probably okay, but I thought since it had been brought up as a security concern, I would,
Like if we were talking about employees and stuff, like our
Yeah.
emails correspondence between each other.
I don't get that.
No,
I mean, it could be, the question could be asked, I guess, to whomever, I don't know.
No, I get the Google Drive stuff and that's the limit of it.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, all right, so that was part one. Part two is it's newsletter time.
Uh-oh.
lovely.
Okay,
Fireman's ball.
Tell your associated boards and stuff, that if they have things that they'd like to say, the next one is January, so this is, the Christmas events,
Right.
the December events. If you want them publicized in our newsletter, get them
Yeah.
from me ASAP.
Yeah.
Fireman's ball, December 6th. Fireman's ball.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, there should be.
That's it, John?
Yeah.
I wanted to just bring one thing up too. I forgot about it. And I was gonna bring it up around the table, and Bill can attest to this too. When we were at the Western District Conference in Souris, it was brought up by a lot of people, and they figured that it might not be a bad idea, starting sometime after New Year's, to have a couple of 3 or whatever we decide, information sessions for potential future council members. Because there are a lot of moving parts, which I'm sure you're seeing.
Still learning. things.
Yeah. And you'll be learning for a long time.
So am I, Sam.
Yeah.
We all are. But I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world if somebody, put their name in. You know how it goes. You're the most recent.
Yeah.
And once you sit around this table, you probably got your eyes open and like there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So just, we'll keep it in the back of our mind, come up with something. I think we had one last time at the drop-in center and Grady kind of moderated it, and just information session for those people that are interested in council, mayor, whatever. Here's what you're up against.
Mhm. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and I mean, since it's on the old interwebs here, and we're talking,
Mhm.
our meetings are open to anybody interested to come and sit in the meeting, and, cause I think you did it once, right?
No, I-
No,
I did.
you did, right, Debbie? Yeah, cause
I did.
I think.
come and see what it's about, obviously except for, in-camera stuff, but the
Mhm.
meeting's open to
Yeah.
to whoever to come check it out, so.
Other than that, that's all we got. Nobody's got anything else, so I will move to the in-camera portion. We have resolution number 304-258, resolved that council move in camera under section 152(3)(b)(2) of the Municipal Act to discuss personnel matters. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by,
Sam.
all those in favor? Oh, that is carried.